Okay, good morning. Good morning, everyone. This is Sean Brown, the Urban Disruptor, and this is the Urban Disruptors Weekly Wrap Up. I am in pain, which is no fault of anybody's, so bear with me as getting through this. Um, Please share this. It should be a good show. I have a lot of valuable information to share with everyone this morning. I'm going to share this myself. So tell your friends, tell your family that Urban Disruptor Show is on. I might be a little low on enthusiasm this morning because of the pain that I have. But the information will be valuable nonetheless. I'm going to have a guest on. I will do a screen share for much of this so that people can see the exact stories that I'm talking about. So, but if you could just pause for a moment and share this, start a watch party so that other people can see this too. This morning we talked about the news. We're going to talk about what's going on with Halloween, a rental program where if you're either a landlord or a tenant and are aware, or if you're just aware of anyone that is struggling with paying their rent due to COVID-19, this is definitely the episode for you, because I'm going to walk you through the process so that you can see what's going on. It's just like, again, there's also there's news to share. We'll talk about the election as well and all that good stuff. It's 9 days until the election, so hopefully you've already submitted your vote by mail application, or you've gone to and you dropped it off at one of the locations, or you've mailed it in. We'll get a update on that as well. If you're just tuning in, thank you so much. My name is Sean Brown. I am the Urban Disruptor, and this is the Urban Disruptors Weekly Wrap Up. We are live here straight from WCMD Studios in Camden, New Jersey at their academy. And we're so glad that you are spending your Sunday morning with us for a little bit. I hope that you learned something and that there's something here that you can share as we go through this process. I'm gonna share this too, and then we'll get into the news. I'm going to share this event, and so other people can see it. Oh, look at that part. This is behind live. Okay. Let's see here. I feel like every time I try to do this, okay. Share your story. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. The enthusiasm is going to increase as I just ignore the pain and get through it. I'm gonna, Facebook kind of gets on my nerves because I feel like when I try to do this, it somewhat changes the process, but we're gonna get through it. All right, thank you for tuning in. Hang in there with me just for a moment as we see this one need help as we get ready to share this. Okay. All right, so good morning. I don't know. Look, I went complete sidebar. One of my closest friends is getting married next week, and instead of doing the usual bachelor party thing where I would get to sit down You know what I mean? He decided we would stand up, and I did some hiking in the Poconos. For some reason, I thought it would just be like a flat trail where I might see a deer 50 feet away, but instead I had to climb over rocks and climb down stuff. So I'm in a bit of pain. All right, let me get into the information that I want to share with you, and we'll take it from there. Make sure my guest gets on, and we'll go. Okay. All right. So starting off with the news, I'm going to share some stories. One particular story I am going to talk about at length because I want to make sure a lot of people have the information. If you're watching this, please share or start a watch party and invite other people so that they can see it too. And we will take it from there. Okay. First story is Pastor Amir Khan, his mother, who is a civic leader and Camden advocate, passed away earlier this week. You can see her here, the Khan family. Her husband was a family doctor that practiced for over 50 years. This article was written by Stephen Rodas. This is why good local journalism is important, because we get to make sure that people like Miss Jackie Khan are honored for their legacy and their contributions to our community. If you want more information on this and read about her life, you can go to Tap Into and read the article. There was another article that I read earlier this week I found very disturbing. A few different people wrote about this, but bikes were stolen from a Camden youth program, Lucy. Lucy is in East Camden on Federal Street. I've been a fan of Lucy for many years. I've sat through their sessions. I know the staff. I've actually reviewed their grants. And they're a great after-school program for young people. And unfortunately, someone stole a whole bunch of bikes from there, 20 bikes. That's quite unfortunate. Since then, someone has donated bikes. I don't know if they have all the bikes they need, but someone has donated bikes since then. Okay. Another story, Hills donate $350,000 to Camden's Leap Academy, an effort to boost interest in STEM. STEM, in case you don't know, stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. Science, technology, engineering, and math. And Leap Academy Charter School, which is on Cooper Street, downtown Camden, will rename its fabrication lab the Vernon and Shirley Hill Lab, Fab Lab at Leap Academy, in recognition of the couple's $350,000 gift to the school. The Fab Lab, as students refer to it, provides students from low-income backgrounds with an entry point into solid, rewarding technology careers. The Fab Lab is an in-school marker space that includes 3D printers, robotics tools, and high-tech equipment. And then you can go on to read this. This is the Hill family is part of. This is Vernon Hill's son, and Vernon Hill was the founder of what used to be Commerce Bank, and then Commerce Bank was bought out by TD Bank, and then Vernon Hill started another bank, Republic Bank. Okay, I just closed the story by mistake. I don't even know what I just closed. Let me see if I can find that real quick. I clicked too fast there. All right. Oh, here it is. Okay. Camden Halloween events to safely get spooky next week. Safely get spooky. So another article here by our good friend Stephen Rodas that Tap Into Camden. From trunk or treats, which we're going to have here at their academy, to spooky skate party and even a haunted house, Camden's pulling out all the stops to safely celebrate Halloween this year, given the COVID-19 pandemic. Here's a quote here from our good friend Nandi Nelson. And so their Discara weekend at 1656 Kane, that's here, will be at 7 p.m. And there are other things that are listed here as well. Here you go. Here's a list. Parents from great Camden schools will host the following. So there are a few different events that will be going on that you can see. The mayor also announced free Halloween skate parties Friday, 3 to 6. So a lot of stuff going on. So if you celebrate Halloween, get your children in their costumes. And listen, if you celebrate Halloween, that's great. If you wear costumes, that's also great. Just make sure that everyone is safe and don't just eat too much candy. These children are already doing remote learning. They're hyper enough. Let's not contribute to it with a sugar high. All right. I read this story, and this story bothered me a lot. I'm gonna tell you why. Man 25 will serve more than 35 years over Camden County robbery. And this is the guy. He was sentenced, so I'll put his picture and name here. Dante Robinson, 25, sentenced to 35 and a half years in connection to home invasion. A Clayton man, 25, was sentenced to 35 and a half years for his role in a Sicklerville home invasion that took place in 2017. Found guilty in October 2019 after a 4-week trial and sentenced by Edward McBride. He will be ineligible for parole for 27 years. 4 others broke into the home and committed robbery. All 5 wore masks. 2 women, a child, and only man at home were home. Police say Robinson was shot in the back during the encounter and arrested the next day. Okay, look, this man did something wrong. He did something bad. You should not rob people. But come on, guys, look at this guy. He got shot in the back. He's going to be in prison for at least 27 years. I don't know there's a nice way to say it, so I'm going to say it this way. If you care about Black Lives Matter because you see the injustices in the public in the criminal justice system, which there are, you have to care about people being sentenced this long. My very first guest on the show was Antone Henshaw, who served 30 years in prison for murder. And I remember asking him that day, and then this came up again at an event that the Freeholders hosted, and is prison for 25 years an effective form of punishment? This man should not have done this. There's no justification. I don't know what happened in this guy's life. I don't know who we robbed. I really don't know anything beyond the story. What I do know, though, is that 35 years for a robbery. This is the same thing. I read another story that the young people that killed the girl in Clayton, New Jersey, a few years ago, they were sentenced to the same amount of time. So we're treating a robbery and murder with the same amount of time. It's armed robbery, conspiracy to commit robbery, possession of a weapon, endangering the welfare of a child. That's because the child was in the house. Burglary and theft. Assault by pointing a firearm. So he didn't shoot anybody. Matter of fact, he got shot. Right? And I don't know this guy, but he doesn't really look like. I don't know if I don't get the sense that he thought this through very well, which means it wasn't necessarily premeditated. And even if it was, we should not be putting people in prison this long. It messes up families. And should they be punished? Yes. But it's sadistic to think that putting a person in prison for that period of time makes any sense. It's not something that we should do. I highly disagree with it. Oh, is this what you guys are looking at? Oh, that's because I just switched the view. Okay, yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, I highly disagree with this. And until we as a community are able to continue to organize on a state level to get these to make sentencing go differently, this man needs rehabilitation. He probably needs to have long-term therapy, needs to be connected with housing, employment, and he should be punished. But punish this man by making him do community service, by doing intense community service. Make him give back to his community, not having taxpayers pay $40,000 or however much it is per year for him to be in prison. This is what the documentary 13th addressed. in terms of mass incarceration, these are the things that we should be going against. I don't have any idea who this guy is. And for the people that he robbed, I have empathy for them and what they went through, because they should not have gone through that. With all that said, 35 years is too long. And we should all be concerned, because it not just impacts this man and his family, but our entire community. All right. Next, I'm going to spend, my guest is not, he has not logged in yet. So I will keep going. Let me check out the comments. Good morning. Thank you. Peace. Good morning. Hello. Hello, viewers. Thank you so much. So I'm going to take, all right, hold on, you see it? Where you at? Where you at, guest? Guys, I'm gonna go play him for a second. We're not, there's a rule when you do writing and things like this, you don't discuss process, but I'm gonna break that rule and discuss process. I spent a lot of time with the 4 guests I was supposed to have this week, and it looks like I went from 4 to 3 to 2 to 1. We're gonna figure that out, but I'm gonna have that episode that I want to have at some point. Anyway, more renters in Camden are eligible for $5 million support program. I don't know if it should say $5 million because the renter's not getting $5 million. Matter of fact, the renter's not getting anything. Nonetheless, raising the income limits and adding money to the program, Camden County hopes more residents will reach out for help with paying back rent as part of a new initiative. Officials said they so far have distributed over $850,000, a part of the Camden County Rental Assistance Program. Now, I'm going to, instead of just going through the news, I'm going to actually, instead of going through the news, I'm going to actually walk you through this application. Look, I'm a grant writer. I do grant writing throughout the week. I sit through webinars to learn about these programs. Some are a little bit more complex than others. This is very important. If you or anyone you know is a tenant, rents a house or an apartment, and has struggled financially in paying their rent, or maybe has not paid their rent, please pay attention to this and share this video right now. If you are a landlord, there is money available for you. You should be encouraging your tenant who has not paid rent yet to apply for this. And I'm going to walk you through the process right now. Step 1, you, the tenant, because the tenant has to apply, will begin the application process. Your landlord will be contacted for information. If you get the grant, the money does not go to the tenant. The money is sent directly from the county grant program to the tenant, from the county grant program, skipping over the tenant directly to the landlord. The landlord must then forgive that rent that was due previously because they received it from the grant. Before proceeding, let me control plus this, it's a little bit bigger. Before proceeding, please be sure you have all the information in order to submit your application. Photo ID. So that means if Sean Brown is applying, then Sean Brown has to submit his driver's license so that the reviewer of this knows it's me. Lease agreement. So if you have your lease, which has to be dated prior to March 1st, if you have your lease, you have to be able to attach it as more than likely a PDF document. If anybody is struggling or can't figure this out, you can call that number. You can call the number, which I'll show you, or you can contact me and I can help you with it. Households 1040 W-2 SSI documentation from 2019 to establish baseline income and to confirm less than 80% AMI. And AMI is annual median income. Is that A stand for annual or adjustable? So that's what this is right here. So if you're one person and you made less than $54,000 in 2019, you're eligible, and then it goes on from there. See, you have to show a recent pay stub or unemployment, ability or similar bill with renter's name, address dated on or after August 1st. That shows that you still live in the place. So they want to see that you live there before March 1st and you live there after August 1st. Your landlord's telephone number, first and last name, and email address. So when you go on here, you're going to put in the information, tenant household information. You're going to click the months that you need help with rent. How much is your rent, right? So you're going to just put that dollar amount right there. Total number of people in your household. And I'm just filling this out just so that you can see. What is your total annual household income? And you're going to get that from what you put on your taxes. All household members' names, and you're going to fill this out, right? And I'm just doing this to show you. So this is obviously not accurate information. Oh, that's right. It wants you to, when you do, and I realized this with another grant I did with these guys, they really want you to use the drop down option for when you put dates in. So don't just type it out. You have to scroll for when you put it in. You have to be patriotic. And I already said that 3 people live here, so I have to add a household member. Right? Put it in again, and I'm gonna do this just so you can see what the next screen is. This is not complicated, and you're gonna end up having past rent paid. So I highly recommend people do this. I'm just gonna randomly pick a date there. This is money that the government still has $4 million, over $4 million left over for this program. And let me say, I am a critic of government. Everyone knows this, that knows me. I'm a critic of government, as I should be. But the county has done, I think, a really great job. And then here, this is where you put in your landlord information. I think the county has done a great job of addressing the financial issues. I know my small business, I got money from a county grant program that I needed because I lost income due to COVID. Landlord leasing rental company. That you're going to put in an email address and all that. I'm going to put in Gmail. Again, I'm only doing it so you can see what's at the next screen. This is all county guys. I hope I'm not messing up your program here by putting in fake information. But I just think it's really important that people see what the see how easy this is. And if you have your PDF, if you have your lease as a PDF, and it should be pretty easy to attach once you finish. If you don't have your lease as a PDF and you need it, just ask your landlord, because your landlord's going to benefit from this. Your landlord wants to get the money. Phone number cannot be empty. What is all this? Tenant contact information. All right. I'm not going to go through this part, but anyway, what you would see on, let me see if I can do this fast. What you would see on the next one is, what you would see on the next screen is that you just need basic information, state and J. This I have to put in right because it won't let me. And this one is a drop down, so you actually have to select from the options. Get people to fill this out, please. Get people to fill this out. Get people to do this. It's not that hard. These guests aren't feeling it. Okay. Phone number. And again, I'm only doing this because I want to really show you the next. I wanted to show you the next screen. This is for renters. The money goes to the landlord. Next. All right, here we go. You must certify. So this is known as self-certification. I certify I have experienced a decrease in income. I certify that the information submitted is true. I certify I'm not receiving rental assistance, such as Section 8. I certify that I'm aware that this application is subject to audit. Okay. And then this is where you update your information. So photo ID. Now, the thing is, if you're doing this off a cell phone, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. it is better to do off of a laptop or a desktop computer. And again, if technology is what's stopping you from doing this, please reach out to someone you know that has a laptop or a desktop, and they will help you do this. So this is where you attach all your files. This is where you're going to show your income information from 2019. If you did your 2019 taxes, it's just as simple as submitting the page of your 1040 that shows what your income was, a recent pay stub, a utility bill. That's going to be proof of address. So you're going to add all that stuff. Once you do that, you submit the application. They're going to contact your landlord, and the money will go to your landlord. Okay. Oh, our guest is here. Hello. Great. All right, let me stop the screen share and bring on our guest. So thank you so much for watching. If you're watching this, please share the video. Thank you for tuning in to Urban Disruptors Weekly Wrap Up. You're on. Hey, thanks for being on. I'm gonna bring you on in a second, Joey. So first, let me give some context to why I think this is a great conversation to have. Camden is a city of children and young adults primarily. Over a third of the people in children are over a third out of the people that live in Camden are children under 18. Another over 10,000 people are young adults between 18 and 25. I think, and I've said this for years, I've been saying this actually for 15 years, every single policy we have in our community has to keep in mind that we're a city of young adults, and we need to do things to support and promote the young adults in our community. So I invited some of my favorite young entrepreneurs that have started businesses, that have done amazing things. And Joey is one of them. I'm going to bring him on right now. What's up, Joey Deal? Joseph. Joseph. I'm sorry calling you Joseph. Hello, Joseph. I've actually met Joey right here in this building where I'm at right now. What used to be Med East High School before it moved, and now this is their academy, of course. Joey was friends with Tamir Branch, who was my intern at the time. Joey is an entrepreneur. He started a business. I want you guys to support this business as much as you can. And I want to start off, Joey, by just first, how are you doing today? Are you in good spirits? Is all well?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm ready to head to the gym after this.
Oh, okay. All right. I need to do that too. I did rock climbing yesterday for the first time. I can barely move my body. Okay, Joey, I see you with the fresh cut. Okay. There you go. Yeah, came through nice. All right. So, Joey, my first question for you is, how would you say, how has the Camden community supported your business?
Without them, I wouldn't be able to have the store I got right now. I wouldn't be able to just do a lot of things I was doing. So the support out here is like, I can't complain about it at all.
So you have Hustle by Nature. Tell us about your products, what you sell, and how people can either buy stuff or look more into it.
Well, my brand is Hustle by Nature. I sell all apparel from socks, underwear, anything you can think of. I pretty much make jackets, hats, everything. You can contact us on the Facebook page at Our Hustle United by Nature, and on the Instagram is HBNwear, and then we have the website hustlebynature.net.
Okay.
And then you can either find us at the location of 4917 Westfield. That's where the store is located out in Pensacola, New Jersey.
And Joey, what inspired you to start a business? I started a business too. It's really difficult work.
It was just something that kind of just happened. It wasn't something that I necessarily thought a lot about. It's just like an idea that I had that I just pretty much ran with, and from there it just became an everyday thing for me. And then as I started noticing like my habits, not habits, but my routine, I'm like, yo, I'm always selling shirts, and I started taking it a little bit more serious. And the next thing you know, I got a full blown business.
So a few weeks ago, I was at an event that you hosted at 1999 Federal Street.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us more about that and what's behind it and what happens?
So basically, I have outside of the clothes, I have another business that I'm working on. not quite sure exactly like what exactly to call it right now, but basically it's called the Hustler and Social, and it's basically a platform to promote anything anything that's coming out in like the Jersey scene as far as music, other clothing lines, art, just new information, constant updates on fashion, just a bunch of like urban stuff that like my crowd and people that's interested in like the arts world would like take interest in. And I throw an event called the Hustle and Social, and the Hustle and Social is basically is like I try to give people like a day party vibe mixed with networking with like the city top influencers, and just it's a time it's just a time for everybody to come. Like it might be somebody in the city that I might want to work with, but I never get in touch with them, or it's just bad timing at the Hustle and Social. That's the perfect time to like mix and mingle, go buy other clothing lines or whatever products are being sold at the Hustle and Social. So it's basically like a party that supports everybody.
Great. Joey, I'm gonna switching gears. Recently, I asked a lot of people from Camden that I know how many men between 15 and 60 are involved with the streets. And by streets, I mean gang banging, drug dealing, anything attached to that. And I was really saddened by the answer that a lot of people gave, thinking that the number is more than 50 or 60% of men in our city. I don't know how accurate the number is, but that's certainly the perception that the people that answered my question had. So my question for you is, as a young man that sees a lot what's going on in our city, do you think that our generations are continuing the legacies of the past when it comes to how the streets are in our city?
I think that a lot of people growing up, they don't got nobody looking up to. So it's like, of course, that they know another like person that's involved in the streets or game banger or whatever you want to call it, that's who they're going to look up to. It's not too many positive role models that's reachable. That's somebody that you see on a daily basis. It's like, oh, that's somebody I want to be like. But if you got 100 drug dealers around you, of course you want to look up to a drug dealer. But if you got one person in the city that's never here, but you just know they from the city, it's like, how can I really look up to you? It's like, yeah, you can inspire me, but you can inspire me for a second and the inspiration go away. But if I constantly see something though, that's something I'm constantly mimicking, mocking, trying to be like. So it's like that. So it's probably not something that's like that people grow up saying like, oh, I want to be a drug dealer. It's just like that's all I'm accustomed to for real. That's all I really know. Is like if we had more famous basketball players from the city, like more kids probably want to be basketball players because of course you want to see them basketball players. There's going to be a legacy in the city, but the city only known for one thing. The initials is what Camden the most dangerous. Of course, that's what they're going to look up to. But I don't know. It just come down to just having more positive role models, people that they can relate to.
So that's interesting. So I mean, I've heard this many times, and I think it's important that our viewers hear this too. So I mean, you went to a high school that the big picture learning model is having mentors. Mm-hmm. If you remember when you were in high school, did people struggle to find mentors that were really good, truly good mentors to help them get to the next level?
Right. Yeah. I had a bunch of different mentors, but they wasn't like on some type of time where I learned a lot from them. I learned a lot from being in that atmosphere or just being there. I just picked up on stuff that I'm doing now that I didn't even realize I picked up from them. But as far as like a firm mentor, like somebody I can still look back and call right now, is like, nah. But it was just like the big picture learning school. It was a great experience, but it's just I think that method of what Mr. Jenkins was trying to do out here was just so like new and just unheard of to like people. Like you got high school students calling you trying to be interns. It's just like I don't know. It's just like I don't think that the people that we was calling was like really taking it serious. I can't speak for everybody. I'm just talking about like for the places that I was calling.
Right. Well, Jakaya, Khalil Gibson, God bless his soul, talking here, they found a great mentor.
Yeah. Right. But it depends on what you was interested in too. You had people that went to the vets. You had people that went to law firms. Like it was a bunch of different stuff. So it mattered who you call. I was calling like print shops and skateboard shops and stuff like that. I was just trying to get an internship.
The other thing that I hear from what you're saying, though, before I ask the next question, the other thing I hear from what you're saying is that more men in our city need to be good examples to younger people in our community so that we can have people doing things like what you do. I mean, I think you're kind of underestimating. I think, and I told you this one-on-one, I'll say it to you publicly. I think that what you're doing is incredible because, you have a little bit more support than maybe some other people do, but you haven't said it yet, but you have a storefront on West Philly Avenue. You have to pay, that means you're responsible for paying rent. You have to keep inventory. You have to keep inventory up. You have to keep up with orders. You have to manage. You have to manage a store. And in Camden, when you're young and successful, it draws all sorts of attention, including negative attention that becomes of your daily experience and figuring out if people are truly for you or if they just want to be around you because you're popular. I think that's a lot for it's a lot for anybody to deal with, but especially young people in this community. So I'm super proud of you. I'm really glad that you do it. I hope all of our viewers check your store out. I put a link to your Facebook page in the comments. If you have anything else you want me to share, send it to me on your phone. You should be able to see something where you can send me a private message, and I'll share it in the matter of fact, here, I'll send you something real quick, and I'll share it so people can know. I think everybody in our Camden community should be walking around with a Hustle by Nature shirt on, or pants, or socks, or all the stuff that you were just talking about. I think it's really important that everybody has something to show that we are supporting the young generation, not only with our words or with our advice, but also with our cash and our money. So I know I ran into you wearing your shirt, and I didn't even know I would see you that day. So
yeah, it's crazy.
Okay, my next question is, what are you and your friends thinking about or doing about the election? Do you have any thoughts on the 2020 election? Have you voted? Will you vote? Are your friends voting?
We ain't really been like too involved in it, not gonna lie, but we was at the bar a couple of days ago with the first conversation they had, Biden and Trump.
Okay.
We watched that, but other than that, we really haven't been in tune to it or like any thoughts of it. Like it was something that was in the air about having people come to the store and vote, but we ain't really been in tune to it.
Has anyone reached out to you? I mean, you're a popular young man from Camden. Has anybody reached out to you to get you and your peers to encourage you guys to vote on either the local level or the national level?
No, I don't think like the older generation or like the important people in the city really like know who he is for real.
They will now. They will now. I'm not surprised by your answer, but I'm going to say it on behalf. I'm 38. I've been involved in politics for 20 years since I was 18, and I don't think there's a good excuse for it. And I think because we're building a future for you and your peers and if you eventually have children and younger people, and this election is very, very important for all sorts of reasons. But there's also stuff going on. There's also an election in Camden now, and I think that all candidates have to pay attention to young people who aren't civically engaged or voting because not enough people have really introduced them to the process. But I'm glad you guys were able to see the debate, and I do encourage you to vote. Here's my last question: do you plan on now? All right, so your businesses, you're from Camden. Your business is on Westwood Avenue in Pennsauken. How committed are you to living in Camden? Do you have hope in Camden's future as a city?
Yeah, always. It ain't not a doubt in my mind. Like I never thought like I don't live in Camden no more now, but I'm near it every day. But it ain't a doubt in my mind that like the city gonna get there. Just like I say all the time, like if Camden was in North Jersey, it'd be a completely different story because like it's more fast paced. But it's like it's hard being a fast paced city in a slow area because it's like when you look at North Jersey, it's city at the city. You look at South Jersey as Camden, then there's a bunch of boroughs or villas or like a bunch of like towns. Camden, like it's a small city, but then like we moving fast, but it's like we so behind compared to like the other fast-paced cities like outside of Camden. It's like we really moving slow for but within our areas, like we advance, and it's like hard being advanced in a slow place when you don't got no resources.
Right.
Or it's like I feel like everybody that's like all the entrepreneurs, all the like the artists in the city, like I feel like they've been carrying it and like moving on. If they keep on applying the pressure they applying, and people just get more serious with their work, Camden gonna be just up there with all the other towns and stuff that got famous people come out their town and good news coming out of it, not just the bad news all the time.
So whenever I tell anybody about the good news that I see in Camden, I'm thinking about you, Julian, and Tierre and Naima, and I'm getting in trouble for naming people other Naima, but the people who have started something which is extremely complicated and difficult. Look, you're an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. We got rent to pay. We got 2 rents to pay, right? We got home rent, business rent. We got taxes to deal with. We got grants to apply for. We got customers to deal with, inventory issues, marketing. It's a lot that comes along with it. And unlike some of our peers in the suburbs or people whose parents were rich, we don't have people, we don't have people that we can trust on to invest in our businesses and things like that.
And just invest as far as money, just as like, I don't know nobody that I can even go hit up. Like, I need some advice on how to run the store. Because it's like, it's unheard of for at this age. It's like, you don't know too many 23-year-olds that did a lot of things I was doing. It's like, and I'm not even doing it off of like this is what I want to do. It's just a lot of stuff that was falling in place for me because it was like I didn't plan on having a clothing line. I didn't plan on going to the mall. I didn't plan on opening up a store. It's just a lot of stuff that just being thrown at me. It's like I'm accepting it. So it's like it ain't no advice to even go to. Like, yo, bro, can I like anything for as far as like what I'm doing right now?
When I was your age in Camden politics, I would sometimes be at meetings and I would like be really upset at our leadership for not doing enough. And a few times I lost my temper. And half the people were like, how dare you? Be quiet. Sit down somewhere. Go somewhere and sit down and be quiet. And the other half were like, well, what were you doing at 23 years old? This young man is at a meeting. He's trying to advocate for his community. What were you doing at that age? And this is why I say to everybody, we have to embrace you personally and your generation. It's super duper important. It's make or break for our community. Hustle and social. I've been to the one you had here at their academy, and I've been to the one that was at Twan's place, Urban Banquet Hall. There's another one. You have another one coming up soon.
Yeah, I can't give out the location, but it's another one coming up December 13th. This one is gonna be at a like a real known place in Camden.
Okay, so I'm going to describe this. What I see when I walk in. What I see young entrepreneurs with tabling. They're vendors selling. You sell one of the things, Joey. I don't know if I've said this to you, but you sell clothes, and then walk into an event that you have, and I see other people who are also selling with their own clothing lines. Speaks to your character and to what all of us can learn in terms of collaboration, because these people really, in many ways, could be your competitor. But instead of you looking at them competitors, you look at them as fellow entrepreneurs that need an opportunity to share their brand and their business and their products, and you give them that space with hustle and social. I've eaten delicious food, heard great music, met amazing people at your events. I look forward to the next one. Is there anything? So I put your Facebook link. Is there how else can people like look into you or follow you if they want more information?
The Instagram HBNware, and then our Facebook is Our Hustle United by Nature, and that's the 2 best ways you can contact me. Or you can contact me on my personal Instagram page at Joey D __, and then my Facebook Joey Dill.
Okay. Hold on, I'm gonna United. Okay, I'm gonna put this. All right, I'll make sure it gets in. I'll make sure it gets in there. Joey, thank you so much for being a guest. Is there anything else you want to share or anything with our viewers?
Not really, but if anybody want to come check me out, I'm at the store all day. Anything you need, just come pull up on me and be on the lookout for the next Hustle and Social.
Thank you. Twan said, great conversation. Good morning, Twan. Thank you very much. Joey, try to share this. I'm gonna reach out to you a little bit later, and we can follow up on this. But thank you so much for being a guest. I invited 3 other people. They're laying in bed or whatever right now, and you are no shade to them because I love them still. We're here. I greatly appreciate it. I like that map behind you too. I'm a map fan. So nice, nice picture.
They all over the house, bro.
Matter of fact, why don't you put
Over the house.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, you got to make this into a national. It has to be an international brand. Can you show us something with your with Hustle by Nature on it real quick? You got a shirt or something on it near you?
Got nothing with me right now. I was ready to head to the gym. I got my workout clothes on.
Oh, is that what that is? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
This another brand from the city. Eddie Moore. He a little bit older than me. I probably know him better than me, but Eddie Moore, this his hoodie that I got on right now.
Okay.
But all right, appreciate it.
Yes, sir. So everybody, stop going to the mall and wasting your money on Polo and Tommy Hilfiger and those brands, and support local brands and support our local economy. Joey Deal is a great example. Thank you so much, Joey. I'll talk to you later. Viewers, stay on for a few more minutes because I have some more information to share. Joey, Thank you so much for being a guest. I'll talk to you later.
Appreciate it.
All right. Wasn't that awesome? Okay, so I got a lot of feedback in the last week about the situation involving the two men from Camden that had an incident. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say their names. And one of the things that I heard was a person very close to me who I respect deeply said to me, yes, they kind of yelled at me, and I'm really big on feedback, and said, we're focused on the wrong thing. And I agree with it. What we need to focus on is the quality of education. Matter of fact, I want to show you guys something. The Camden School District is going through some pretty big changes. They have a meeting coming up in the next few weeks. Whether your child goes to a charter school, Renaissance school, or district school, whether you still live in Camden or you don't, I'm going to share this with you. By the way, both the school district and you're sharing my screen. Okay, stop sharing. Screen share. I think that's a fluke. I'm going to show you something. I think you guys are going to appreciate this information. Okay, here we go. So this is the school district's website, putting students first. The wonderful name of their wonderfully written strategic plan. All right, so first, if you are interested in what's going on public education, the regular board meeting is this upcoming Tuesday. There's no school on election day. By the way, and then just to remind you, it is not election day, it's election deadline, because you should really have already voted. What I want to talk to you about is right here. If you go to the website, and if you have a child in the school district, or you care about what's going on with public education, please, please, please do this. It's very important. So you go to community, comprehensive long-term planning. I sit on this on this committee, and I think right here on additional resources, you're going to see the same things that the district shared with us. It includes forecasts. Forecast is a fancy way of saying how many students do we predict will be in our district or in our city year after year. Maps and tables. And so this is all public information. And on here, so this is actually the presentation that we saw. On here, you'll see these maps that show school locations and density, meaning where there's a larger amount of people, and the high school breakdowns. The district is shrinking, and one of the things that we should not lose on is that we got to do more to improve the quality of education for our young people. Schools will close. This is not a guess. This is not a prediction. It is a fact. There will be district schools that will close more than likely by next school year. This process that's being that has a tremendous amount of community feedback in it is walking us through the process of figuring out what schools they are. This district can't. Some of the schools are too messed up. Some of the schools, the student performance is too low. This is something that we should all be concerned with. And let me stress this. I looked at a presentation I looked at a presentation the other day during this meeting, and you have schools in Camden that less than 10% of the students are the word that the state uses is proficient. So tested in math, reading, and language, you want to see a school with at least half the students being proficient, meaning they are at or above grade level, meeting the targets that they have. Look, parents, I'm going to include myself, we must include knowledge to our young people all the time. Every opportunity must be a learning opportunity, all the time. We have to bring math into the conversations with cooking, with driving. How long does it take? If it takes me 1 hour, to go from here to Atlantic City is 60 miles, and I go 60 miles per hour, how long will it take me to get there? Now, this should be a really simple question to answer. 1 hour, we go 60 miles per hour, we go 60 miles, how long does it take to get there? It takes 1 hour, right? By the time you're in 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, you should easily be able to answer that question. We have to make sure our young people understand the basic mathematics, can read on a basic level, can do what's known as technical reading or everyday reading, where they can read a bus schedule that they maybe have never seen before and figure it out. This is very, very, very important. Great subject to discuss. Yes, I really need to have a whole episode on this. Our students aren't learning enough. Our students, especially in certain schools in the district, I'm sure there's a charter school or two whose name there. Our students are not learning enough. When you look at who's committing these crimes, when you look at who these gangsters are, these young gangsters, we look at these guys that are selling drugs, but they barely even making any money in the drug world, but they feel like they have no other options. This is upon us as grown-ups. Black Lives Matter. Yes. And since Black Lives Matter, we have to hold our criminal justice accountable. We have to hold our education system accountable. We have to hold ourselves accountable. That's why when somebody gives me a criticism, I should be objective and looking at myself and think, how can I be a better leader? So when someone tells me, don't focus on the personality politics in Camden, focus on the policies, I'm saying yes. That other stuff is distraction. It's very, very important. So go to the district's website and check that out. Look at the tab under community. The next school board meeting is on Tuesday. If your child goes to a Renaissance school or a charter school, know who's on their board, know who the leadership is, and understand what your children are learning. Parents, when I see any parent, I'm like, oh, how's your child doing in school? When I see young people, what are you learning right now? Social studies was always my best subject, and then English. What are you learning right now? What are you reading? What literature is it? And somebody's going to say, Sean, none of that stuff matters until people make money. Absolutely. So that means we need to be looking. We are in October. We're 9 days until the election. On November 4th, it's really the kickoff of our local election right here in Camden. We have to hold our elected leaders and appointed leaders feet to the fire and say, what are you doing to build the economy of Camden? Make sure if a person wants a job, they have a job. If a person needs a source of income, they have a source of income. There's a story that I should have shared with you guys about, this is actually worth bringing up. This is actually pretty important. Let me find this real quick. There is a new workforce. So one more story. Murphy and Norcross unveiled a workforce development program from Coronavirus Relief Fund. So the program is designed to help businesses impacted replenish their workforce and help jobless residents learn new skills. The program provides on-the-job training, employment, and training services. I want to look more into this, and I want to share this information with you. A shout out to, thank you to the person that shared that information with me originally. I think you know who you are. We got to pay attention to where the money flows. In the past, I've talked about, if you look at previous episodes, I've talked about where political candidates get their money from, and almost none of it comes from Camden. We got to make sure that the people who are serving our city and are elected to lead our city understand the issues that we have in our own city and our own community. We have to communicate. We have to hold them accountable for what that is. It's very hard on working parents to monitor their children's schooling and still provide. Yes, I say it's on. I don't. This is by Twan Connors. Twan Connors, thank you for showing. I don't know you, but yeah, absolutely. I just said this on Facebook the other day. It's a mess. It's a mess, and I don't know what the solution is. Look, I was on the school board. My mom's a teacher. I'm a parent. My children are advanced learners. I think I figured out a lot of stuff when it comes to education. But right now, I'm super perplexed. My kids don't want to be up in the morning at 8:30 and log on. They get distracted by the stuffed animals and the snacks and outside, and they're talking over each other. One person doesn't want to sit here, the other person doesn't want to sit there, and I still need work to get done. I owe people. You may know me watching this. I might owe you work. I'm going to get it done. I promise. I'm working on it. I owe people work, but it's so hard to be a good parent and a good either employee or business person at the same time because of this pandemic. And nobody should feel guilt, but we do have to strategize and we have to work together. We have to make sure our children are occupied, make sure they feel loved, make sure that they are eating healthy because the food that they eat does impact their mind. All very important things. I don't want to go on a tirade or tangent. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're just tuning in, go back and watch this episode again and share it because I talked at length about the rental assistance grant program, where if you owe rent because of income issues because of COVID-19 and you're not getting Section 8, there is and you live in Camden County, there is grant money for you, and I share that information. If you own a small business, actually this is worth showing. If you own a small business, especially a restaurant, but not just a restaurant. Here, let me share screen. Please apply for. Oh, what am I doing? Okay, wrong agency. Okay, here it is. The New Jersey Economic Development Authority has grants for small businesses. You can see it right here. Small Business Emergency Assistance Grant Program. What I'm about to say is very, very important. If you know of a small business that qualifies, please make sure they pre-register by Tuesday. You have today, tomorrow, and Tuesday to pre-register. You have to pre-register to be able to get the money. If you get the money, it's a minimum of $5,000. That is a decent amount of money. Their website's being a little weird. You have to see if you're qualified. Let me know because I'm running out of time here for the show. But please make sure if you know of any restaurants, any type of small business that's been impacted by COVID-19, you let them know that the NJEDA has information. Check out the Camden Business Association if you're a Camden-based business. You can contact me. I know the process. I sat through the webinars. I've gone through it. Let me know. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Sean Brown. I'm the Urban Disruptor. Drink water, get sleep, eat fruits and vegetables, wash your hands, wear your mask, use hand sanitizer. COVID-19 is real. Love everybody, forgive people, keep it moving. Let's build. Vote by mail. If you haven't voted by mail, contact the county clerk's office, the Board of Elections, so that you can figure it out. Vote. If you need recommendations, let me know. If you have the time and energy, you want to know more about this upcoming election, just watch previous episodes. I've talked about it at length. I love you guys. I thank you for tuning in. Have a great day. Thank you, Joey Deal, for being a guest today. I greatly appreciate it. And let us build and let's figure all of this out. Thank you for the guests and for the people who commented as well. Take care, everybody, and I will see you next. Yeah. I definitely have a special episode coming up this week about voting. Tune in. It should be tomorrow, actually, but I don't want to announce it until I have the details finalized. But check it out. All right, guys, take care. Thanks for tuning in.